All right, everybody, this is AZ Crypto here with you live tonight, doing a solo. Obviously, some huge news yesterday. By the way, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. We've been picking up subscribers lately. We really appreciate it. Share, hit that bell notification. Anything you can do, we greatly appreciate. So, Sam Bankman-Fried does get arrested finally. Great. It's good news for all of crypto. However, as much as we cheer Sam being held accountable, what about Alex and Steve? And I know you might say, well, wait a minute. They didn't commit any fraud. They don't have to go to jail to be held accountable. They really, really lied to their customers. Bottom line, we're not going to go through all the details, but they were deceitful. They were not honest about the financial situation of their exchanges. And they also need to be held accountable. Maybe not, obviously, if they didn't commit fraud, they're not going to go to jail, but they need to be held accountable in this space. Do I think Voyager will be bought out? Brian, great question. We'll talk about Voyager a little bit. INX had a Twitter space today about how they were going to team up with Avalanche. And if you know the history of Voyager, at one point, Avalanche was supposed to be running the platform, including the NFTs. And never came to fruition, obviously. But people have been speculating, well, wait a minute today. Avalanche, INX, does that mean they are a serious buyer for Voyager? Another great question. But again, sadly, the judge has given us nothing. The UCC, nothing. And I feared this would happen until January. And unfortunately, it looks like I'm right. No calendar, no updates. We know, obviously, the FTX deal was terminated. But other than that, we are kind of in the dark. And that's really sad because we deserve better as customers. So hopefully we can put some pressure on the judge, write some emails, do whatever you can. If someone could get them a copy of this video, it's time to step up. And it's time to really show that you care about the customers, about the people that are really being dragged down, not the CEO that's taking a full salary, that's prolonging this. And so if the judge really does care, he needs to show something in January. Otherwise, he's part of the problem too, sadly. Again, sadly, it seems like no one wins in bankruptcy, and we're being taught that lesson every single day, week by week. Again, hopefully we get some type of resolution early 2023, but as of right now, we are completely in the dark. Speaking of one of the Voyager bidders, Binance has come under a lot of scrutiny, and there's been a bit of a bank run on Binance, several $1 billion over the past 48 hours. Now, never say never in crypto. No one thought that FTX was doing what they were doing. And as much as we think Binance is safe, unfortunately, they're not. So if you are one of the people that has an account on Binance US, even though they are not directly Binance, or you found a way to get on Binance from the US, or you're watching internationally, let me recommend that you take out your funds immediately. There is no upside in finding out how this ends. My big concern with Binance is their own stable coin. Anything that's not USDC, I do not trust. It is not audited carefully enough. USDC is the only stable coin I trust. And yes, that does include Tether. There are a lot of rumors going around about Tether. It's been up for a really long time, but we've seen what's happened since May, since Luna. I count nothing out. So if you're heavy into Tether and you're heavy into the Binance ecosystem, be very careful. BNB, you might want to think about shorting that if you're into that stuff. But Binance US and Binance were hopefully one of the big Voyager bidders, but right now it's dangerous out there with them. So here's the thing. If Binance is going to be the highest bidder, which is rumored, is there a financial audit? Can the judge order that? Can the UCC order that? Can the Voyager lawyers finally look out for someone and order that? That's the big question. Because if Binance is going to be a serious offer, we need to know as customers that our funds are going to be there. I mean, we were this close to being trapped in another bankruptcy with Sam Bankman-Fried. And by the way, yes, he was charged with fraud today. So as much as I was high on Binance buying after the last couple of weeks, I've tempered that enthusiasm. And again, who knows if anyone else is going to step up. Again, Chapter 7 is a possibility. We're going to keep that in mind as Voyager customers. One last thing I want to talk about today is Canada making leverage betting illegal on cryptocurrency. Now, you might say the government is overstepping their balance, and maybe that's right. But I'm going to say One of the things that held down Bitcoin in the last bull run, if you want to go back and look at the numbers, was as much of the leverage trading that happened. A lot of people were getting liquidated, and it was bringing down Bitcoin. And when Bitcoin goes down, so do all the alts. And so that's one theory as to why we never had an alt season. If you don't know, an alt season is at the very end of a bull run where everything goes crazy and nuts and explodes. And we didn't have that. And there were several reasons for that. But I fear that the amount of leverage trading that existed in this run, if you go back and look, that wasn't an option in earlier runs. Not as much. Obviously, there were more and more people into crypto. But this is something actually I'm a little interested to see if this happens in the United States. Because if it does, I actually think this will help Bitcoin go up further. And I actually think they'll give people more returns, not less. A lot of people might not like it because they leverage trade and they like to go long, they like to go short. But for people that actually want to make a lot of money in the next bull run, this might be a good thing. So we'll see if it happens in the United States. I know a lot of people do not want regulation, but the reality, we talked about this, regulation is coming, whether we like it or not. It's just a matter of reality. It's just a matter of when we do get the regulation, how do we react? Kind of like we were talking about Voyager. When we do get whatever funds we get back, how do we react? We are our own recovery plan. We cannot count on whatever exchange it is, whether it's INX or Binance US. They're not going to make you whole. You're going to make yourself whole. So interesting stuff. But the thing about Avalanche is we're really high on Avalanche on the show, and I would pay attention to them greatly. We had a little bump today in the market, which was interesting. We will see if this is indeed a Santa rally. For me, I still think until this FTX situation, and especially now with this Binance situation, gets resolved, I do not know for sure that we've seen the bottom. In fact, I don't think we have. We really haven't. So even if we get to 20K, don't get too excited. Don't watch those shows that say, hey, we're going to 30, we're going to 40, we're going to 50. I really don't see that happening in 2023. I could definitely see a 25K BTC, and I could see some steady rises in 23. But I, for sure, because of all the stuff that's happening all over the world and the United States, economic-wise, we're still slightly recovering from inflation here, but a lot to be determined. I do not expect, like we talked about in the show, a bull run up until 2023. However, if you want to DCA into some projects that we've talked about, like Cosmos, like Avalanche, like eGold, now is a great time. I would be very careful now with BNB, though. With what's happening in Binance, I would be careful. We learned our lesson with Luna. You never want to be married to one project. You want to watch what's happening and you want to react. So we could be high on a project, like everyone was high on VGX in the Voyager community. Unfortunately, you see how that worked out. So you never want to be blind and have blind loyalty to a project, because at the end of the day, we're here to make money and we're here to make our financial futures brighter. And so we don't need to be married to anything. Okay. These people do not feel sorry for us. A lot of them. You see Steve, no apology, even in private, to anyone. Okay. So these people don't feel bad for us. So we shouldn't feel bad about using them to make better lives for ourselves. So please hit that like, please hit that subscribe button. I appreciate everyone that's tuning in and watching the program. We will keep stringing out some videos for you. For Mr. FOMO, this is AZ Crypto. You guys have a great night.